Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sakura Dreams. Today we're meeting with 3 eligible bachelorettes and trying to match them with one lucky man. The winner will get to join Genji on our fabulous Sakura Dreams cruise date. Today's bachelor needs no introduction. He's the coolest cat in court, the stylish swooner of Suma, the beautiful, the shining Hikaru Genji. Now, people may not know this, but Genji and I go way back. How you doing, Hikaru?
I'm doing fantastic, my good friend. All that I now feel, I have never felt before, as the moon at dawn melts away from my eyes into the boundless heavens. Today is a very auspicious day.
I'm glad to hear it, brother. Are you ready to answer some questions and meet 3 lovely ladies?
Obviously. Do you even need to ask? Any opportunity to fraternize with beautiful women is an opportunity I'm willing to take.
Let's do it. First question. Who would you describe as your perfect woman?
You know, that's an excellent question, Chujo. It's something I've given a lot of thought to. What comes to mind is a poem I once read. Would there be one with whom to exchange intimate whispers? Then might I begin to awaken from this dreary world's dream. So obviously, my heart's greatest desire would be to find a woman who intrigues me. The greatest woman I have ever had the blessing of knowing, or at least knowing about, would be my mother, the most beautiful and attractive woman to have ever lived. Honestly, if any woman could approach her greatness in any way, that would be a woman worth pursuing.
Genji, you come to the heart with your sincerity. Now, will our lovely bachelorettes please describe themselves?
Well, I'm young, but I am dedicated to self-improvement. My ladies say I still have a lot of growing up to do, and I want to learn to be the loveliest woman I can, so I work hard on my handwriting and my drawing every day. I also care a lot about deep connections. Unfortunately, I lost some of the people who were closest to me when I was very young, so I value the people I'm able to keep around.
I am a strong woman and proud of my accomplishments. My daughter means the world to me. I love her so much, and in fact, I always love very deeply. This can lead to great passion, but also a little bit of jealousy.
I am a woman shining with quiet dignity. I enjoy poetry and the gardens. I am devoted to my family. I have pride in my station, in my behavior, in my education, and in my duty.
Thank you, bachelorettes. Next question. What are you looking for in a man?
I'd love to find someone who can help care for my daughter and be a father-like figure to her. I don't care much about how we meet, but he should be someone who is my equal in intelligence and wit. He must make me a priority as well. If I were to feel that he favors others over me, I don't think I could let that go.
Maturity, definitely. Loyalty, I suppose, would be nice, but you can't expect much in that regard from men these days. Maturity, though, maturity means dignity, it means presence, it means control. A man should be mature enough to show honor to his station and to those he associates with. Immaturity infects and degrades everyone by association.
My love language is quality time. I have a small handful of people who I absolutely adore, and I hope they stay close and just shower me with attention. If a man can't always be with me, I'd at least like to know that he's coming back. And I'd also appreciate someone who could teach me things. For example, help me improve my calligraphy. That's the kind of thing I'd like in a dad.
Thank you, ladies. Now let's ask some more questions. You're meeting the perfect man for the first time. What does he do? How does the date go?
He approaches me in the early evening. The stars are out and the nighttime sounds of the garden can be heard through the screens. He entices me with a poem. His lilting voice enchanting and his powerful words are dignified and exciting. I, of course, will respond with a poem, one clever and enigmatic to complement his own. We will speak long into the evening and part ways, but he will return again.
I think one day he'll appear and sweep me off my feet and I'll know I'm his. I'm waiting for the kind of romance where, a guy will break into your house and throw you over his shoulder in the middle of the night.
How we meet is not important. In fact, it's not something I would consider worth recording.
Very good. Now let's dive a little deeper. How do you personally handle your own jealousy?
I would never be openly jealous. I would just push those feelings down and hide them away. Even if the feelings were to grow and fester, no one else would know. I wouldn't want people to talk. However, sometimes my jealousy grows so strong, I just have to let it out subconsciously.
I would instigate a dialogue, tell him how much I miss him, and make sure my company is so pleasant that he never wants to stray again.
All right. Subtly. Jealousy over another woman is a delicate thing. It must be controlled and directed to a purpose. It is too much to hope for a man who does not wander, but that does not mean he should escape unscathed. He will know of my disapproval with every withering glance I send his way. He will feel my disdain, for I cannot and will not respect a man who sneaks about behind closed doors, seeking pleasure where he can find it. He will feel my disdain like the ice down his spine whenever we meet. He will know the heat of my fury, even as the chill of my heart speaks through his veins.
Okay. On a similar note, if a man were to leave you for another, how would you react?
I would never publicly make my feelings known, but internally I would resent him for it. I would despise the woman who he replaces me with, and hope that something happens to keep my lover and that awful woman apart, so my lover can return to me. I would think about it as I go to sleep, and will them to be separated. But of course, those feelings would be hidden from others. My jealousy would only be expressed subconsciously.
No reaction is the best reaction. Grieving in private, of course, is unavoidable, I suppose, but grief for a lover must never leave the walls of one's quarters. I am not to be defined by the men in my life. I would continue to do my duty to my family with pride and dignity. Let not this fool of a man see that he has hurt me.
Oh, I can't stand the thought. Not after my mother left me. Do on the sleeve.
I see. Thank you for that, Bachelorette number 3. Ladies, it's your turn to ask our lucky contestant some of your own questions. Bachelorette number 3, will you start?
If you loved me, what would you do to assure me of your affections?
Well, I would take you and raise you as my own. I would provide you with your own place of residence and teach you what it means to be a lady. I would teach you to read, write, and play music. Most of all, I would show you my love through my actions by spending my time with you and eventually making you my wife.
If we were to end up together, what kind of relationship would you see yourself having with my daughter?
Your daughter? Well, I would care for her as my own. Though out of respect for you, my love, I would not take her as my lover. I might write her an occasional note, but because of my love for you, I would set her up with an auspicious relationship with my son, Reize, the Emperor.
Relations are sometimes quite difficult, and sometimes you may find yourself taking the brunt of responsibility. If we were to join in a relationship with children involved, how would you handle yourself if I were to pass away?
I would care for the child in the best way that I could. Our child would be my memento of you. So I would make sure that they have the greatest education and the best tutors and nurses. Our child would be perfectly taken care of.
There has never been a parting in the autumn untouched by sorrow. But oh, do not cry with me, pine crickets upon the moor.
How touching. Number 1, do you believe in people having soulmates? Or do you think one can be forced to? I mean, that people choose to love others.
I absolutely believe in soulmates. Ever since I was little, I just knew that I would marry a certain type of man. I'd set up my dolls and play house and pretend he was there, or I'd draw a picture of what I'd think he would look like. This soulmate, this wonderful, perfect man, has been in my conscious so long and from such a young age that I couldn't possibly imagine being with anybody else.
Thank you, number 2. If you were to marry someone, would you stay with them no matter what? Or would there be something that could cause you to abandon your spouse?
All right. If abandoning was done, it would not be by me. There are certain conventions that must be followed when one enters into a marriage. For the sake of appearances, these conventions, and for the sake of my own dignity, I would never abandon a marriage.
How moldable of a person are you? How would you deal with a changing situation?
Flexibility is a benefit of youth. Sometimes I pout a little bit if I don't like some news, but I am more than capable of reminding myself what's important, remembering who cares about me, and reprioritizing.
Lady Aoi, I would like to know how you feel about dating younger men.
I didn't think
As I mentioned before, maturity is important to me. Initially, I would be dubious about being in a relationship with a younger man. Should my doubts prove unfounded and he prove to be sufficiently mature, I would have no issues.
This is one of my last questions, but how would you manage an estate and conduct household affairs? In what ways would you command the respect of servants and the admiration of your peers? Would you be able to function without having to be told everything you need to do?
As in everything, the key to a well-ordered estate is in the image. In all things, the household is to conduct themselves as if in the public eye. In this way, the household is...
How would you manage an estate and conduct household affairs? Okay.
If she doesn't want to take any more questions, I would be happy to oblige.
Okay.
If I were to be in charge of a household and command the respect of servants and the admiration of my peers, I would do so by always being a proper woman, a proper lady. I wouldn't let things like jealousy or petty drama enter into my household. I would keep those things locked away from prying eyes.
Okay. Would you be able to function without having to be told everything that you need to do?
I'm steady because I and my love for whoever loves me will grow a little bit every day. In fact, people have noticed that about me and compared me to a little plant. It's cute. As for the type of plant I'd be, I think I'd have to be one of those roots that you dig up after a while, because even if you leave me alone for a long time... Whoa! Go away!
Contestant number 3? No, number 3! Whoa. I mean... Oh no, cut the video, turn it off! Well, wow, that's it for questions tonight. I'd like to thank our former lucky contestants for their time, and personally, y'all were royalty to me. Now the moment we were waiting for, Genji, which of these beautiful bachelorettes would you have selected for your Sakura Dreams cruise date?
Fantastic. Well, Chujo, I really enjoyed these girls. I think they were great. I think that Aoi lady, she seemed pretty solid, pretty, kind of dependable. One that you'd maybe keep as a wife, not necessarily, mess around with too much, but definitely wife material for sure. I would say so. And then that Murasaki gal, I think she would be, I mean, she has great potential. She'd be an amazing wife one day. I think definitely she could be definitely made into a beautiful woman. And then that Rokujo lady, she's definitely somebody that keep things spicy. You definitely keep her around to make life more interesting. So I really think they'd be somebody worth it.
Wow, folks, I can't believe tonight's result. Who would have thought? Well, that's it for our program tonight. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Why, hello there. My name is Austin David Anderson, and I'm here to explain to you how you can be attractive.
That's all, folks.